Good afternoon, gentlemen. Greetings. Welcome to Unit Canberra. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves and your organisation, please?
Thank you. My name is Luca Castellani. I am the head of the Regional Centre for Asia and the Pacific of the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL. UNCITRAL was established in 1966 by the United Nations General Assembly with a mandate to promote the unification and harmonization of international trade law. It is the core agency in the United Nations system, and it has produced a number of legislative standards, such as treaties and model laws, which help everyday businessmen in conducting trade across borders, in particular by increasing legal predictability.
And I'm Tim Castle. I'm a solicitor and barrister from Sydney. I was engaged by the Regional Centre to prepare a report about Australian trade law initiatives. As a result of that report, I'm now going to be working as the interim UNCITRAL coordinator at the Law Council of Australia, which is the peak legal profession body in Australia, and we will be looking to coordinate all the work done by people in practice, in academic world, in civil society organisations and in government to look at UNCITRAL issues and how they can be advanced both in Australia and also in our region.
And in regards to this visit, why are you here in Australia?
Well, I'm here in Australia because we have had a significant interaction with Australia before. We have several stakeholders in different ways. And in particular, one matter which is important to us, is, as Tim said, is to establish a better way of communicating between Australia and UNCITRAL. Australia and UNCITRAL share very many joint interests in promoting trade at the global and regional level. So in particular, I'm in Canberra today in order to coordinate that with different stakeholders, such like the Attorney General's Department and, for instance, DFAT.
And we've been very pleased that Luke has been able to make a number of visits during the last 12 months down here to Canberra to meet with senior stakeholders and to give real impetus to how we in Australia can interact with UNCITRAL. I appreciate that the Regional Centre for Asia Pacific based in Incheon in Korea has a huge mandate, and one of the things that we can offer here in Australia is a hub to address some of these issues in the South Pacific and some of our immediate Asian nations to our near north.
And something in particular has happened this week in terms of Australia signing or acceding to a convention. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, absolutely. This is another milestone in the cooperation between UNCITRAL and Australia. Australia decided a few years ago to become a party to an UNCITRAL treaty, which is called the United Nations Convention on the Use of Electronic Communications in International Contracts. But the accession of Australia to a treaty was subject to every state and territory passing a revised Electronic Transactions Act. And last month, such condition became true, because Queensland had passed the revised Electronic Transaction Act and was joining the other states and territories. So we know now that in the next months the formalities will be completed and Australia will join the treaty, and that will be extremely significant in promoting paperless trade in East Asia. And
what significance will it have for those in Australia?
I think that there's a revolution which is happening in Australia at the moment about increased use of electronic communications in place of paper-based communications. So domestically, the legislation, the Electronic Transactions Acts, which have flowed as a result of this treaty, will actually lead to a greater use of electronic contracting, the acceptance of electronic signatures in a domestic sense. And I think, as Luca would make the point very clearly, it greatly facilitates international trade between Australia and a large number of our trading partners, where paper-based documents will largely become irrelevant, and people can rely upon electronic documentation and signatures in particular to conduct their business transactions. And I think at a time when we're looking to remove barriers to trade, we're looking to improve trade flows between Australia and the rest of the world, it's a very positive development.
And one last question, do you think that Australia signing on will encourage others to do so?
Oh, absolutely. Australia has always been a leader in adopting electronic commerce legislation. And now he's joining another leader, Singapore, in the region as a party to the treaty, but is still among the first countries to adopt the treaty. We know that more countries will join in, and more countries will be extremely encouraged by this move of Australia. And we are already getting ready to provide the support. And we also hope to be able to benefit from all the expertise that is already present in Australia to help other countries, especially in East Asia, to adopt the treaty and to get the most out of this instrument.
And one of the things I think with the UNCITRAL coordination role that we're setting up at the moment is really to try and expand the opportunities for Australian practitioners, Australian academics to contribute to our region by taking advantage of the fact we have a very well-developed legal system, we have very good legal and academic resources, and we're in a very fortunate position. We'd like to help, and it's a question of organising our resources to assist UNCITRAL and assist a number of other organisations which are working to improve trading conditions sort of in our region and more generally in the Asian region itself.
So it's a strengthened partnership that which will go on.
Absolutely,
We
yes.
definitely think so, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.